For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Happy New Year to everyone. It's the year 2024 and it's the year of the African Cup of Nations. Of course, Bafana not being in the African Cup of Nations the last time around, will bring you all the Bafana matches this time around in Ivory Coast. We're here, of course, in the brand new year to discuss the transfer window with Tso Vilakazi, former Orlando Pirates captain and Orlando Pirates icon, one of the best players to have ever played in the Premier Soccer League. We're talking Orlando Pirates transfers. So currently Orlando Pirates are number 5 in the league table. On top of them it's Stellenbosch, Cape Town City and SuperSport United and Mamelodi Sundowns. So the question is, which are the 3 players that Orlando Pirates needs to sign in order for them to get closer to Sundowns, and whether or not it is even possible for them to win the league this season with their technical team, with the players that they have, with the style of play that they are playing as well. Mr. So-and-so, thank you very much for joining us. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year, Mr. Nkewu. Ngibulisa wena, ngibulisa Justice, ngibulisa Junior. Ngibulisa namakhaya xa support njalo ya iDiskiTV. Njengoba njalo ngichike futhi. Happy New Year. Akuzoba mnandi, akuzoshuba. Zaduma.
Uyabuya na Hugo Bros AFCON.
Mr. Nkewu, asingathi yabona thina abanye sazigulela vele sinenhliziyo. So asikakafuni ukuthi sibuyele kumapilisi. So ngicela nje ungayiphendulile ngoba sekude kabi Mr. Nkewu, sekude wena sazohlula bo yini Benin isane problem yabo Rwanda sekude la siyakhona. Mr. Nkewu,
let's talk the transfers all on the Pirates. Before you go into your players, 3 players that you want Pirates to sign, although they have a lot of players as well. When you look at the market in South Africa, so you are Sundowns, you are Pirates, you are Chiefs, that's usually the stronghold in terms of fan base and those are the biggest clubs. Does the market allow you to buy other players? Because every time we talk about transfers, we overlook the part where are there any players to be bought in the first place? I think if you look at Stellenbosch, I'm sure you can get 1 or 2 or 3 players there if they're going to allow you to. And if you look at other teams, do they really have players that can add value to what you currently have?
Mr. Nkewu, ngiyathanda le mbuzo wakho because based on the teams, ukuthi Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, when they look at that team, babona ukuthi kukublabaleka khona and then they can beef up on that. Let me go to Pirates, Mr. Nkewu. Pirates, one, they need a striker. They need somebody that will score, somebody that will put the ball in the net. And you know, I always say this, Mr. Nkewu, and I don't know whether people they listen to me to understand or they don't listen to me at all. When I always say, we can't be smart all of us. There's no way we're gonna be smart all of us, because once we smart all of us, then we're not gonna see the beauty of the game. Look at how Sundowns are playing. Shalulile always say, I know you always cry, you guys. I Shalulile Magabambi Bola is losing the ball and what. And I always say, don't allow Shalulile to make a run going outside the box. Once Shalulile will make that run and go and collect the ball outside, he's gonna lose that ball.
It's a headache.
You know, it says good Nami as a coach, I must understand the type of a player that I've got. Good Asan. You know, this one, if he goes out, yes, also ends the run and get the ball. But after getting that ball, he's going to lose that ball because he's not a ball player. But when you say to him, Shalulile, stay there. And again, when you look at the Sundowns, I will say similar with the Pirates. They've got ball players, but now they don't have a point of reference.
Well, Mahopa has been their point of reference. It's a question of whether or not he can score 20 goals in a season.
Mr. Nkewu, this is one of the Pirates, Mr. Nkewu. You know, this team used to have Abo Piono Guerra, Abo Jairus Kosana, Abo Zuma. I'm talking about top quality strikers. You know, about the late Manyatela. I'm talking about top. I'm not talking about a player that he's still trying to fit in the setup of being a professional player or in the setup of playing for a big team. No. There's no time for that at Pirates. Unfortunately, if players they will go to Chiefs, Pirates and Sundowns and think no, there's no time for that. Unfortunately, these 2-3 teams they demand delivery immediately. So for me, that's why I'm counting Ulontuzana Umakhoba, because he's not a striker that Pirates can rely on him. Pirates, they made a big mistake of their lives, and I'm sure wherever they are, they regret that. You cannot allow a player that scores every week for you and wait until the last day of his contract and then end up not signing that player. Dzvukamanja. Look, Dzvukamanja, I would say not a very good player, but a finisher. He can score. Put the ball, he's gonna be inside the box. He gets the ball, you put it in the net. And now that's the problem at Pirates, is that they don't have that player that will just gonna get the ball in that box and finish.
Right. So you're discussing 3 players that Orlando Pirates must sign. You're talking about a striker first. Who must they sign first?
Mr. Kiwi, no, it's so difficult, Mr. Kiwi.
Well, I gave you 24 hours to think about it. So.
The problem is that there are strikers, but when you look at how Pirates, because remember that I've played for the team, I know the culture of the team. So the strikers that so far are available, for me, they're not, I would rather call back Dzvukamanja and call back Mabasa. They are not ball players.
Well, Dzvukamanja is not on loan. I think Mabasa might be easier solution.
Yeah. But remember that there's a big team. If you want the results and there is a player there, go and knock.
Well, you will be left with an egg on your face. You allowed someone's contract to run down, and then they signed for SuperSport United, and then 6 months later, you are buying them again. You didn't even have to buy them. You could have just extended the contract.
Yeah, Mr. Kewe, but it's a cultural begil. I will say, Pirates, we all make mistakes in life. We make mistakes thinking that these are the best decisions that we can take. But look, Mr. Kewe, if you want to challenge Sundowns, you must have quality. So Pirates, Dzvukamanja, Mabasa, let them come back, because I think, other things you can work on, fixing the defense, playing with 4, how they move, how to cover each other. Those things you can work on as a coach, but you need quality, especially going forward, because sometimes you can have a good defense, a good midfielders, but if you don't have a good finisher, then all the job that you are doing from the back, midfield, going up front, it will be a waste.
All right, those are 2 strikers. Recall Mabasa and then sign or re-sign Dzvukamanja if SuperSport United would allow you to. Why would they do that? Maybe if the money is right, they could do that. Who are your other players? Of course, we're looking at the broader context now. Yeah. When you look at the players available, because sometimes, we talk about, there's always speculation in the transfer. And my pushback was that he just looks the same as Abu Otledisa, Kapinga. They already have Maswangani. They already have Karim Kumvwidi. They already have Relibogile, Mofokeng. They have a lot of those kind of players. So even if you add him, it will be like Pirates just doing what they usually do every season, which is sign, the same kind of players. What other players are you thinking about for Orlando Pirates to sign?
Yeah, stability because I can say at the left back, we don't know what we're doing in Paris. We want to play with 3, we want to play with 4. We don't know what we're doing. I think there's this young boy at Stellenbosch. He's doing very well. I mean, he's the sub guy. Who's this boy? Swallows last season. Pasadine, yes. Pasadine also a very decent player.
Are you saying Usibande, the one who played for Pasadine?
Yes. Sibande, a very, very, very good player.
Would you not say so? We only saw him twice, I think, because it's been Pasadine the whole season, and then Usibande in the Pirates, and he had an incredible game. And Junior was saying which he was Farouk, he was a winger naturally. So would you say you've seen enough, or do you want him to complete the whole season Stellenbosch. I think I'm not doubting what you're saying, because we all saw what we saw that day. Osibande, especially in the second half, with him and Van Wyk on the left-hand side. Would you not give him 3-4 more months at Stellenbosch, or just on that 90 minutes, you were like, he's capable?
I will take him, Mr. K. You know why? It tells you go to Upasadin in the influence I fagile to this boy to say, look, if you get an opportunity, grab it with both hands. Because if you're not gonna do that, I'll come in again. So for me, it tells you the boy says, I've got a chance. I've got the chance now. I'm gonna grab with both hands, because for me, he played like a seasoned player. Yeah. Like he didn't look as if he was doubting decision making, or he was not even sure in terms of the run or the pass. You know, all the action that he did for me was like, wow, this boy, why he was not doing this first half? That's what we were asking all of us to say. Stellenbosch, where were you first half? But now second half, you know, it was Mr. Gewa. That boy, yes, I do understand, you know, as coaches, we always going to be different in terms of how we coach. But that boy, in terms of me having auto, I'll have that boy. That boy, good in marking, good in overlapping, good in delivering.
Yeah,
because for me, that's a key part. Yeah. For Otto, look, Otto can do that. You can mark, you can run, you can go up. But when it comes to that final pass, then you like to yourself, but why did you go there? Or why passing immediately and then you go back? But now we need to use that with you. So I'll have that boy, and yeah, for me, Paris doesn't need, and hey man, Mr. Kyo, Traore man. This I don't know.
Let's tell him, Bosch. But yeah, it speaks volumes about where they are at the moment. Or Traore or Traore, I can't remember the center back.
Traore, Traore, yes. Yes, because I think it was comes from Ivory Coast, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Mr. Kyo, it tells about the work that the coach is doing. If we can look,
what are you seeing with him?
Yeah, very very solid defend. You could see when he's playing, you know, the communication at the back, how they cover each other, and his work. And the other thing that I like most is that when he wins the ball, he doesn't say, I know I'm done. No. He waits for the right moment, and then he plays a nice pass. He gives cover also when you need cover. That's why you see, even when they've changed, but keep here Umacheke Baleta Adams in that central midfield. Adams played as if team. Phew, that boy. I don't know what to say about that boy, Mr. K. It's a work that Coach Steve Parker did in that team, because you know, he's got those boys are quality, but you know, not all those players that can play for Pirates, but others, you know, because of the style of play, you know, they can play for the big team, they can play for Chiefs, they can play, you know, Sundowns they're okay, you know. Maybe let them go also go Super Sport, maybe Coach Gavin can try and do one or two things.
Okay, so we've spoken about Osibande, we've spoken about Traore, so left back and the centre back that Orlando Pirates needs to sign. We also spoke about Mabasa, who's a striker that belongs to Orlando Pirates. We also spoke about Terence Dzvukamanja as well. So those are the four. I'm sure if you are thinking about Fantasy League, another person, Orlando Pirates, could think, why don't you just go to Sundowns and buy this one and that one? I can guarantee you, like, it's not like Sundowns is going to give you their player on our way. It's not like if Sundowns came to you. If anything, Pirates have been giving Sundowns some of their players. Of course, if there's money involved. Orlando Pirates are number 5 as we close up this video. Orlando Pirates are number 5 in the league after 16 matches. So we played over half of the matches with most clubs in the Premier Soccer League except for Sundowns. How far do you think they could go if they go out to the market and buy these players? Last season, on the last day, they beat SuperSport United to number 2, and they qualified for the CAF Champions League, and then they only lost it. I think they beat one team from Comoros in the Champions League, and then they went to Botswana, and then they lost to Jwaneng Galaxy. So it wasn't something to write home about, their campaign in the CAF Champions League. How far do you think Orlando Pirates could go, given that they are number 5 currently?
Mr. Gio, I think they will end up third this season, looking at Gavin Hunt, no, Eric Tintler, the way they doing, because one thing that I wish Uguti he can continue is that work rate ga Eric Tintler, because Eric a Captain City, they've been doing well, Mr. Nkiwo. I don't know ukuthi usuka iluze kuphi Eric Tintler and then end up besagcina kuma 5-6 position, you know. But when you look at his team, he's got a very good team. He's got a team that really can challenge, and it's not the first time we see them where they are, because I remember if 2 seasons back, 2 seasons back, where he end up going to play Champions League. So it tells you Eric can do it, you know. It's just a matter of, you know, I don't know, but Cape Town, what is it that they want to do?
I think, given that I come from there, so, and I've watched Cape Town City from the first match that they've ever played. I think it was in the MTN 8 against Chiefs, actually, because that's the first competition you play in the league. In 2017, when they bought the status from Mpumalanga Black Aces, I always say this, they've always played well against teams from Joburg, Chiefs, Pirates and Sundowns, or from Gauteng, Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, SuperSport. But if you give them anyone, I mean, even the last game that they played on the 31st of December against the Cape Town Spurs, that was unconvincing. It was not the same draw that they got against the Sundowns, which was high quality, high level thinking, high concentration. The 1 year Cape Town Spurs could have scored. They could have gotten away with a draw there. So that's the up and down. It's like, I know I think they've combined 6 wins in a row. That's why they are where they are. At some point this season, but the combination is 6 wins in a row, which means at least they are starting to beat these teams that are beneath them. But the problem generally has always been that they usually up their level against the big teams and then they drop. It's a mindset issue, psychological issue. Even when Benny McCarthy was there, he was pissed off by it, that you could lose to a team after beating Chiefs or after beating Pirates on the weekend. 3 days later, you could lose to Ibaroka. Pirates, you haven't answered my question about where do you think they will end? You said at number 3 this season.
Yeah. Pirates, I see them number 3 this season, based on the inconsistency of the team itself. You know, Mr. Nkiwo, I remember one coach, Coach Colin Nicholson, used to say, you plan, you watch the games. There's teams that in the league you say to yourself, I can't play a draw with this team. Yeah. I can't. Like, no ways. It's no ways. This one, that is 9 points. And then that one, if I will get a draw, I'll be happy. If you lose, it's still okay. You know. Here also, maybe I can't lose both games. At least if I can get a draw in one of them, then with me it's fine. Then that's it. But now if, you know, if Pirates will lead that game with 2 goals, you know, against Stellenbosch, and the Stellenbosch, they'll come back and win the game 3-2. Then those are the things that are saying to you, you cannot guarantee this team they can end up number 2 in the lock.
Right. There you go. Orlando Pirates, a star-studded team with a lot of players. Usually, their favorite thing to do every transfer window is buy a lot of players. And yeah, given that they are already Orlando Pirates, you would expect that they will be in the top 3 anyways. So, at what point do they then breach 3, 2, and then become 1? Because if anything, every season we always say, if anyone is capable of challenging Sundowns, it's Orlando Pirates. But for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years consistently, it's been very disappointing. They haven't mounted any serious challenge. Last season, Sundowns won the league by 15 points. That's, I think, 5 games plus one other game or half a game. So that's a lot of matches to win a league by. iDiskiTV, iDiskiTimes, World Sports Betting. Thank you very much for watching us.